It's always nice waking up in the morning and seeing a fellow boat rower come across my StarTribune.com homepage, my Twitter account. It took you a handful of years, but you are finally grabbing an oar, Patrick Royce. And now they're going to get beat by 21 points against Michigan State because you're on the bandwagon.
I'll have to take the blame for that. I don't think Michigan State can beat anybody by 21 points, and especially not this team. I had that meeting with Harvey in August, and I've been sitting on that one for a day. I needed a column, and it's always nice to get a 80-minute conversation with Harvey in which he only talks for 78 minutes. So it was pretty good. But I'm trying to get on the right side of this one when I look at the Big Ten West, and what better way than to write a column about Harvey McKay and then right at the bottom slip in, oh, by the way, I'm on PJ Fleck's bandwagon here, so they're going to have a good year. So anyway, that was kind of fun to write it and remember the Harvey days when Harvey was running the West with Mussey. Back, the world was a lot more fun when boosters could actually full frontal recruit, instead of having to do it behind the scenes. They could get on the trip and go with them, and make the offers right with them. The world was a much better place when we had recruiters right out there with the coaches recruiting, don't you think?
I kind of like it. I kind of like them in the shadows with stacks of cash now. Alabama. Right. Yes. Where'd this $1 million come from for this Alabama quarterback? I don't know. That guy in the shadows.
I got some abuse on the comments that it was Cassie Russell at Michigan. Well, there was Cassie in the 60s, and then there was Campy was the one that Bill Musselman and Harvey went to visit, and whatever occurred during that visit caused Johnny or the Michigan coach to go insane because I think it raised the price of poker for Johnny, and he didn't want to pay the freight. So anyway. It was fun writing it, and I really do think they're going to win the West when you look around, don't you? I mean, you got to if the running back if your running back stays healthy, nobody else is really any good. I thought Purdue maybe, and then they end up getting beat by Syracuse, and and then Michigan State, which I think we mentioned this the other day. They won their first 10 last year or something, but they just kept pulling them out of, just incredible wins that they really didn't outplay anybody in. And so the Gophers are favored, right? 3-point favorite.
Yep.
They are, yes.
On the road at Michigan State. So anyway, go get them, PJ. We're all on your side now.
Wow, this is monumentous.
I even called him PJ instead of Phil. Which
the ultimate sign of respect from Patrick.
Yeah.
Right.
Everywhere he goes, you just hear the rouser now, just walking around.
Don't be fooled. He's setting them up, and I personally love it.
No matter what happens Saturday, I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to if win or lose. I'm not going to. If they happen to fall on their face, that's their problem. I don't think they will. I don't think Michigan State's that good.
So we'll get no pithy tweet if they lose by 14?
Maybe a pithy one pithy.
Okay.
It's not. I don't think this would be a loss you have to apologize for. But if you want to assure yourself of winning the division, you could take it a long way by winning this game.
Yes, I will be covering another tilt Saturday, so I won't. What time do they play? By the way, what time is it?
2:30, right?
2:30?
Yeah, it's
I'm going to St. John's and Bethel on Saturday.
Look at you on St. John's. Basically on a beat.
And Bethel is just, Bethel has his quarterback, Jaron Rosti, who started with the Gophers as a preferred walk-on, and I think it's year 6. And he damn near had his arm torn off in the season opener, but I think he's going to be ready to play against St. John. So he's a big, strong kid, big personality, hell of a guy, and it'll be a good game. So.
There's another interesting milestone on the line in this game. If the Gophers win, PJ Fleck would be 500 in conference, so he would be 22-22 in conference. I think I'm right on this. Can you guys name the last Gophers head coach to finish his tenure 500 or better in conference games?
Bernie Bierman.
Nope. Not quite that far back. Murray Warmath.
Murray was over 500.
He was 65, 57, and 4 at
Now
the
we
end of his
all
tenure.
have to remember this. There was no Big Ten West for a lot of coaches. There was a lot of coaches who every year played Michigan. The little brown jug was you never missed Michigan. The schedule was different back then.
In Ohio, you'd play Ohio State more often, probably.
Well, that was one. It was really weird back in the 50s and 60s. They played Ohio State very rarely because they didn't want to travel way out there. They were the far east, and this was the far west.
far.
You know, the trains. It took a while for the trains to get there, but once in a while, I think the famous game is that the Gophers won out there once in like in the late 40s, and we thought we were going to the Rose Bowl, and the whole town was excited, and then they got their arse kicked a couple of times down the stretch. So, but yeah, it's they haven't won in Michigan State much, I'll tell you that. I don't know if Michigan State's doing as good a job of cheating as they used to, though. They used to be the best. They used to be the best. I actually was just talking to John Rowe. John, they had a guy named Daryl Rogers there for a while, and I think Daryl ended up leaving at the insistence of the NCAA. But John said he was sitting there watching practice with him one day, talking, and John told him how Cal Stoll would tell him, "There's 3 ways to do it. You got to go slow. You got to go slower than the other guys. You got to go faster than the other guys, or you can cut across the field." And Rogers looked at John and said, "Yeah, and when you're cutting across the field, it's going to be amazing who you meet when you're doing that." In other words, you're going to meet Michigan and Ohio State cutting across the field too. So anyway, it was fun. So what the heck?
Yeah.
How about our, Terry Francona asked him to finish that game last night and said, "We're going to run away from these chumps with this. Look at this team I'm putting out there, and we're running away from these clowns." Stephen Kwan. And
well, the last 3 hitters in their lineup, people complain about the Twins lineup. Look at the Twins lineup and the injuries. Look at the bottom third of Cleveland's lineup every night. Just a bunch of scrappies.
Yeah, well, they got catchers that that hit like Sandy Leone. They got, they get you. Yeah, it's amazing, but it's a blowout now. The White Sox thought they were okay. We got rid of Tony La Russa. We got rid of our problem. We got Miguel Cairo. We're ready. This is it. We sweep them. We're still there. They got their arses kicked twice in a row. So.
Yeah. And the amazing thing now is we are now praising the maturity and learning process of Gilbert Celestino, who was lifted from the game 2 nights ago because 1, he didn't tag up, but 2, he also decided to slowly basically walk back because he was ticked off about a called third strike. So he finally gets benched, and now it's like, this is a learning experience. These guys have quit. They've quit on the season. This is not learning. This is not good. I am hate watching every game.
Why are you still mad at this? Who cares at this point?
I'm hate watching every game.
Yeah, we
Turn
know.
on Netflix, dude.
Yeah, do something else.
Carlos Correa. If Carlos Correa had walked back from first base past the umpire like that, do you think it would have been mentioned?
No, I think that
I'm glad they got on him about not tagging up because he's running the bases like a moron lately. He and Nick Gordon having a contest if he can do the most stupid things on the bases.
Amen.
But the fact that he's mad at an umpire, we're supposed to now defend. The guy missed the pitch by a foot. The pitch was not a strike. Why? So what if he's mad at him? But the thing is, I read today, he's going to end up playing more games in the outfield than anybody else. And he was supposed to be like the extra guy, and he's played. He's not been quite as inept as we thought, But yeah, it was interesting that this became Rocco's showdown of the season to inject some discipline in the team, pick on this outfielder who shouldn't be playing anyway. And by the way,
the Eddie Rosario thing from a couple of years ago would have been the right place to do that.
Has anybody been to the post office to see if they have Byron Buxton posters up there to see?
Milk cartons, Pat. It's milk cartons.
Has he been found? We don't even mention him anymore, right? That he's basically lost. Is this now a permanent condition where you gave away $100 million? Is that what they did here?
Well, I mean, he gave you the second most games he's ever played in his career. So
yeah, and when you really, really needed him, he just disappeared.
Well, here's my issue, and I'm not looking to pick a media fight here, but I did a Google News search, Byron Buxton yesterday, and the 4 most recent stories were from a month ago.
Yeah.
So what this is this crucial stretch of a season, and we know that he's injured, but have they just kept him? Has anyone seen him? Like what? Joey Votto was wandering around the Great American Ballpark yesterday, taking pictures with fans during the game.
Yeah.
Where is he? What is he?
A few days ago, he was hanging on the rail when they were home, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Somebody show him in the dugout, but yeah, nobody's.
Is it chronic? Is it going to get better next year? I want more information on this mysterious set of injuries.
Boy, oh boy, there's just so many things that have gone on here with this team in the last 6 weeks that are unanswered at this point, and it's the new that you're able to get away without answering questions now because you get Rocco, doing what he does, and then the other access is very limited. So I don't know what the hell's going on, but. It is funny that they are 2 year removed from winning 101. Well, 3 years removed, 2 years removed from winning another division, and we have this feeling that this has just been a completely inept organization, even though there's a 2 year period there where they were 137. And 85, and only 2 years ago. So this is not even, by their standards of going off the cliff, this isn't even close the last 2 years. But they deserve everything they get because there's so many unanswered screw-ups. How did you trade for Paddock? How did you trade for Malley? How did you, just all these...
How was 40% of your rotation was Bundy and Archer, who you knew couldn't pitch beyond 4 2/3 for 60 combined starts?
How did you screw up Jorge Lopez, who had a 1.6 ERA in Baltimore and was unhittable, and now he's unusable? How did you do that? How did you screw up all these things? And it'll be interesting when they're going to have to do some interviews this weekend. The Falvey and Levine and the boys, but they gotta be embarrassed by how many things backfired on them this year, don't they? How many things backfired. They can't keep anybody healthy. Every pitcher they brought in, the best pitcher they brought in has been Michael Fulmer. He's been the best of the pitchers that these bold actions that they took, and so yeah, it's a lot of people are. Very angry at them, and the only thing that can really save them now is a couple of more big puke jobs by the Vikings. So people will change their focus to the Vikings. If the Vikings lose to the Lions, then the Twins are off the hook again for another week, right?
Yep. I think it's changed, though. I think it's changed. And did you see that your pal, Kevin O'Connell, Patrick, took responsibility again at the Wednesday press conference no fewer than 4 times?
But specifically, did he give us specifics?
Anything that went wrong, he would finish with, "That's on me."
But
so the run game didn't,
So how did he? What did he do to screw up the run game? What should have they
didn't call run plays?
Well,
I think they ran 11 times. But I'm just saying, you are going to absolutely do a column before this year is done about your frustration of guys falling on the sword all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but but in a completely meaningless fashion, right? A completely meaningless fashion. It's at the school. It's the school of new coaches. What do? Always take responsibility in a vaguest manner possible, right? And then the fans will love it. The fans see he's taking responsibility. Okay, what'd you do to screw up, coach? Well, I just all of it.
That's proprietary information. I cannot. It's strategic. We can't give away our strategy. We can't. All right, Pat, we got to run. We got to get to some Doogie scoopage here, but we'll talk to you.
I want to listen to those. Get Doogie out here. He'll have the inside, man. What didn't happen this week that damn near did? Go get him, Doogie. Come on.
Wow, Pat's on a rampage. All right, Pat.
I love Doogie. He's the only guy that uses my pool for God.
It's good. We did not cut him off. He just cut himself off. I just want people to know. Pat, mid-sentence, just left the room. Wrapping with Royce, presented by our friends at Federated Mutual Insurance Company. They've been around for over 100 years, almost as long as Patrick Royce has been crucifying Minnesota sports figures. And you can find a full list of all the industries that they work with to see if it matches with your business. Risk management tools, resources, federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours.